We're living in a culture that has declared war on its own survival mechanism. For decades, we've villainized fat. We've treated it as a moral stain and a sign of failed willpower. And in response, and maybe to protect our mental health, we've tried to normalize it. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Neither stigma nor normalization is a solution. Everyone deserves unconditional respect, but your body also deserves a metabolic system that actually works. To solve a health crisis, then, we need to stop seeing fat as a flaw and start seeing it as a battery. Think about your phone. When it's plugged into the wall, it runs on direct power. We appreciate the battery because it allows us to keep working even when we unplug. Your body is the exact same. Fat is a metabolic battery pack. It's a strategic energy reserve designed to power your brain and your heart during gaps between meals. But a battery that's never used essentially becomes redundant. It's a waste of space that actually hinders the device it was meant to save. In our culture of constant abundance, if we never skip a meal, if we never stop snacking, does your battery pack ever get used? Most of us are plugged into glucose 24 hours a day. We never actually activate our hybrid fuel system. In a healthy state, when the direct power runs low, our bodies flip a switch into ketones. Ketones are clean, stable, high-efficiency fuel that's produced from your stored fat. And being able to switch back and forth between sugar and fat is really the definition of resilience. But we've lost that homeostasis. In our war on fat, many think that zero fat is the goal. But a battery that's empty turns out to be just as dangerous as one that's overcharged. When fat stores are too low, the biological distress is profound. Without that energy reserve, even your hormone CEO pulls the fire alarm. Testosterone and estrogen both crash. Your mood becomes unstable. Your body enters a state of chronic exhaustion because it has nothing left to give during an illness or a period of stress. This is the great irony. The hormonal disruptions, the mood problems, the deep fatigue that's found in obesity are the exact same symptoms we see in starvation. Both cases, we see the body in a state of metabolic crisis. It's struggling to manage the energy it needs to survive. We need fat. We need a modest amount of stored energy that we actually use occasionally. So then why are we overcharging? It's because of the software that's running the whole system. In the fructose model, we see that fructose is the primary signal for conservation. Its biological mission, its entire role, is to ensure that the battery is always at 100%. And that's why it activates both in periods of plenty to prepare for hardship it thinks is coming, as well as in periods of scarcity to make sure you actually endure that hardship without running out of power. It's the software of survival. In the modern world, this emergency never ends. The fructose pathway stays on. It tells your body to keep charging the battery, even when the battery is already full. Because we're constantly eating, we never unplug to burn what we've stored. This is not a failure of character. This is a masterpiece of survival, just trapped in the wrong environment. Up until now in this series, we've discussed how. We've stepped through the microscopic mechanisms of the fructose model. But the evidence for this pathway does not stop at the cellular level. To truly understand why this system exists, we need to look outside the lab. We need to look at animals who use this system to perform miraculous feats of endurance. We need to look at how fruit changed the course of human history, and we look at the disturbing timeline that comes from the rise of sugar. You're not broken. Your body is just trying to save you from a famine that just isn't there. In our next video, we're going to look at the natural world, and we'll see how birds and bears can teach us everything we need to know about our own metabolism. I'll see you in the next one.